Welcome in this discussion regarding the features or characters of different groups of plants. Depending on the presence or absence of flower and seed, the plants can be of two types: the cryptogames, that is the plants where the seeds are not produced, flower is not produced, and number two, the phanerogames or the floral plants where the flowers and seeds are produced. Depending on the body morphology, the cryptogames can be of two types: the thallus type body, that is where the body is not differentiated into stem, root, or leaves, are called as thallophytes, which include the algae and bryophytes, and the pteridophytes, the vascular plants, which have the root or stem and the leaves. Phanerogames can be of two types: gymnosperm or naked seeded, and angiosperm or concealed seeded or plants with fruits. Characters of cryptogames. This group of plants are characterized by the absence of well-defined reproductive structure called flowers. They don't have any flowers. Instead, they form spores, which is a special type of reproductive organ used by these plants. This group of plants again subdivided into the fact depending on the fact that whether or not they have an erect body or differentiated body. The plants with undifferentiated body are called as a thallophyta, which lack any root, stem, or leaf. Algae and bryophyte are the members of this group, and the next group is the cryptogames with leaves and the stems and the roots. They're called as the pteridophytes. Algae. Algae is a diverse group of unicellular or multicellular eukaryotic organisms which lack vascular system, that means xylem phloem, but mostly autotrophic because of photosynthetic capacity, and most of them are aquatic. Features of algae. The algae are primarily autotrophic, chlorophyll-bearing, or that is photosynthetic thalloid plants, which may be either unicellular or multicellular, or even in some cases, they may form colony. Unicellular algae found to have flagella or the locomotor organ. They are primarily aquatic. Most of the algae have a special structure called as a pynoid granule in their chloroplast. These pynoid granules are actually a protein cored material granule which remain covered with starch. These pynoid granules are found to be involved in the CCM or the carbon concentrating mechanism or carbon fixing mechanism for photosynthesis. The stored food of different groups of algae are mostly polysaccharide, but the particular type of polysaccharide differ depending on the particular group of algae. The normal green algae or chlorophyta mostly store starch, whereas the brown algae stored the laminarin and the red algae group stored the fluorine starch. The algal reproduction takes by vegetative way or by sexual way or by conjugation. The vegetative type of reproduction observed in algae are fragmentation and spore formation. Here are a few examples: the unicellular algae Euglena, colonial algae, the volvox. Look at the individual volvox in the colony, and look at the Spirogata, filamentous algae. And the special thing is their spiral chloroplast. Look at the figure; the spiral chloroplast is visible. The study of algae is called as a phycology. Red algae are called as a rhodophyta, green algae called as a chlorophyta, and brown algae are called as a phaeophyta. The massive and sudden growth of algae in an aquatic body, in water body, is called as the algal bloom, and the algal bloom caused by the red algae is called as a red tide. Trentifolia is a particular type of or is a unique type of algae which can grow on terrestrial conditions. These are actually lichen-forming algae which can grow on terrestrial conditions in a symbiotic association with fungi. The Spirogyra is characterized by a spiral chloroplast as we have seen in the previous plate. The algae can be used in different ways, such as as a food, as a source of iodine, as a biofertilizer, as antibiotic, and even for producing oxygen in spaceship. The particular type of algae called as kelp or the seaweeds can be used as food or for making iodine or also as biofertilizer. And the particular type of green algae, chlorella, is also very famous for their ability to produce oxygen by photosynthesis, which is used in spaceship. So bryophytes. The bryophytes are a group of non-vascular green plants which grow in moist land, but they also require water for reproduction, actually for fertilization. As they need water for fertilization but grow in land condition, in terrestrial condition, they are called as the amphibious plant. The three distinct group of bryophytes are the mosses, the liverworts, and the hornworts. Bryophytes. Though the bryophytes are thallus group of plant, but some of them may grow some root-like or stem-like or root-like structures. The stem-like structures are called as a colloid, the leaf-like structures are called as a phylloid, and the root-like structures are called as rhizoid. But again, these are not true root or stem or leaf. As I said that these group of plants grow in terrestrial condition, but they require water for fertilization. That is why they are called as the amphibians of plant kingdom. Another very unique feature for bryophytes is that their persistent body, the visible body that we can see in naked eye, are actually body, haploid type of body called as gametophyte. It is the plant group, the type of plant which produce the gametes. These gametophytes produce the sperm and ovum or the male or female gamete, which after fertilization form the sporophytic body. And this sporophytic body is dependent on the gametophytic body and produce haploid spore by meiosis. The male structure on the gametophytic body is called as antheridium, and the female structure is called as the archegonium. The dependent diploid saprophytic body is consist of three structures: a globular capsule, a seta or a stalk, and a foot. In few groups, they may consist of only a capsule, and this whole thing remain covered by a cover called as the calyptra. The asexual reproduction of bryophytes may take place by forming some structures called as the gemme or game and the tubules. Here is some example. Look at the gametophytic body which grows the red-orange color saprophytic body in them. The red-orange structure, the bell-shaped structure is actually the calyptra which covers the actual sporophytic within it. A few examples: a sphagnum is a moss, a liverwort or rixia, and hornwort or the anthoceros. Bryophytes may also be used in different ways. The most commonly used bryophyte is a sphagnum, which can be used as a fuel or also as an antiseptic rub. Bryophytes has a very crucial role in the formation of soil. They are a very crucial soil forming agent. Pteridophytes or ferns are the first group of cryptogamus or the first group of plants which have vascular bundle, that is xylem frame. Though the vascular bundle is not of evolved type or is a primitive type of xylem frame is there, but these are true xylem frame. But again, they don't produce any flower. That is why they are also cryptogam. Features of pteridophytes. Pteridophytes are the first group of plants who have true leaf, root, and stem. In addition to the traditional root, the ferns or the pteridophytes may also have some rhizomes, which is a stem-like structure which grow horizontally or sideways. The ferns may have roots and rhizoids both. The prominent sporophytic body, the diploid body, contain the roots, whereas the gametophytic body contain the rhizoid. But in case of fern, both the sporophytic and the gametophytic body are photoautotropic, that is, they are independent of each other. The reproduction of ferns take place by spore formation. There are two types of spore they can form. They can form homospores, that means where all the spores are similar morphologically, and the heterospores, where the male spores are small, called as microspore, and the female spores are called as megaspore, which is large in size. The spores are produced in sporangia, which are placed on the ventral or the back surface of the leaf. The spores develop into an independent chlorophyllous haploid gametophytic body called as the prothallus, and this prothallus form the male structure Antheridia and the female structure Archegonia. They have two vascular bundle, but the vascular bundle they have is of primitive type, as the xylem lack the trachea of the vessel element, and the phloem lack the sieve tube element. Here are two examples: the club moss, Lycopodium, and the wood fern, Bryophytes. Though these are called club moss, but these are not actually moss; these are fern. Phanerogamus, or the floral plants. This group of plants produce the distinct reproductive structure called as a flower, and they also produce seed. This is the group of autotrophic plants or parasitic plants. Some may be epiphytic. Now, phanerogamus can also be classified into two subgroups: Gymnosperm, or the naked seeded, and the Angiosperm, or the concert seeded, or the fruit bearing plants. So, Gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are the seed bearing vascular plants which may grow into a tree or shrub. In gymnosperm, the ovum and seeds are not enclosed in the ovary or fruit. Instead, they are found to be attached on the leaf-like appendages called as the cones. There are four principal or primary types of gymnosperm: the conifer group, the conifers, and the cycas group, the Cycophyta, the Ginkgophyta, the Ginkgo group, and the Nitum group, the Nitophyta. Features or characters of gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are long, woody, perennial, evergreen trees or shrubs with prominent taproot system and well-developed vascular bundle. Gymnosperms lack true or ideal flower, but the, the male microsporophylls and the female megasporophylls aggregate together to form the male and female cones respectively. The male microsporangium and the female megasporangium remain directly attached to the ventral surface of the micro and megasporangium or sporophylls respectively. They have two types of leaves: the scaly leaves, which are not green in color, and the foliage leaf, which are green and photosynthetic. The scaly leaves are found on both their long and dwarf shoots, whereas the foliage leaf are found only on the dwarf shoots only. A special feature, a unique feature for gymnosperm is the presence of a transfusion tissue, which is made up of trachid element or dead elements and also parenchymatous phloem element. This transfusion tissue is found to surround the vascular bundle in the leaves and maintain contact or communication between the vascular bundle and the mesophyll tissue of the leaf. The gymnosperms are pollinated by air. Air carries the pollen and then the pollen fall into the ovum. Their Seeds have haploid endosperm, which is formed before the fertilization. For example, the cycas, the pine, look at the female cone, and the ginkgo. The tallest tree in the world, the nicknamed as the Hyperion, is a type of gymnosperm. These type of gymnosperms are called as a redwood tree or the sequoia. The Hyperion is more than 380 feet tall. The oldest living tree in the world is also a gymnosperm, which is nicknamed as the Metellus. This is a type of bristlecone pine tree, and its age is found to be more than 4,700 years. The different members of the gymnosperm are considered to be as living fossils. Few common examples are cycads and the ginkgo. These plants evolved at the time of dinosaurs, but they are still with us. The ovules and the androgen, or the male gamete, of the cycas are the largest in the plant group. In case of pine, all the trees in a area simultaneously release their pollen, and thus the air becomes yellow due to the pollen. This event is called as the sulfur shower. Angiosperm are the flowering plants, which produce true flower, and their seeds remain covered or concealed within their ovary. They may be herb, shrub, or tree. They are mostly autotrophic, some may be parasitic, epiphytic. Features of angiosperm. They produce flower, which may be either complete or incomplete. A complete flower has four structures called sepals, the petals, the male structure or the antheridia, and or the androecium, sorry, not antheridia, androecium, and the female structure, the gynoecium. The seeds contain cotyledons or the seed leaves. This is a very important structure for the seed, which contain stored food for the future embryo to develop. And in many cases, the seed leaf may also serve as the first leaves to produce food by photosynthesis. The vascular bundle is well developed. Xylem is with tracheal element and phloem is with the sieve tube and the components. They have triploid endosperm which form after fertilization. Depending on the number of cotyledons, there are two types of angiosperm: monocot with one cotyledon, one seed leaf, and the dicot with two seed leaves. Features of monocot. Monocots lack true taproot system. Instead, they have adventitious roots. True root or taproot forms from the radicle, which comes out first after germination from the seed. In case of monocot, this radicle, after coming in contact with the soil, degenerate and forms the adventitious roots from elsewhere. The stems of monocot is well marked in nodes and internodes. Node is a region or zone on a stem from where new leaves or branches arise, and the region between two nodes is called as the internode. These internodes, in case of monocot, may be either hollow, as in the grasses, or may be solid, as in coconut. The hollow internode is called as the womb. The flowers are generally trimerous. That means all the members they have, the sepals, the petals, all things are either three in number or in the multiple of three. The leaves of monocot have parallel venation. That is, the all the veins run parallel to each other. There is no branching in them, and their leaf base clings the stem. That is, the seeding leaf base is present. The leaves are isobilateral. That means The dorsal and ventral surface of the leaf are morphologically and histologically similar. The germination of seed is mostly hypogeal type. That means the seed leaves remain under soil during the germination procedure. Most of them have closed vascular bundle. That means their xylem and phloem are not separated by the cambium. That is why they also lack secondary growth. Most of the monocots live only for a season or a year. There are a few examples: the grains, the lilies, the sugarcane, the aurum, the bamboo, etc. Look at the parallel veins in the leaves of banana, and it's a diagrammatic representation of the hypogeal germination. Characters of dicot. They have true root or taproot system. The flowers are pentamerous, that is, all the members or holes are either 5 or multiple of 5 in number. Few may be tetramerous or in multiple of 4. The leaves normally have reticular venation, that is, the veins arise from the central vein, that is, there is branching in the vein. The leaves are dorsal ventral differentiated. That means morphologically and histologically, the ventral and dorsal surface of the leaves are different. Most of them have epigeal type of germination, where the seed leaves comes out of the soil during the germination and serve as the first green leaves for photosynthesis. The vascular bundle is open, that means they have cambium in between their xylem and phloem, and that is why dicots express the secondary growth, they express the wood formation. Here are a few examples: the legumes, the pea, the bee, the lentil, etc. Mango, jackfruit, pumpkin, all are common example of dicot. Reticular formation in leaf of mango, apigeal germination in beans. Look at the seed pods, the seed leaves which has come out. Some interesting features or facts. The fastest growing plants in the world is considered to be the bamboos. The largest flowering plant in the world is Rafflesia annuloria, the crops lily, which is actually a obligate root parasite. The smallest flowering plant is also Angiosperm, the Wolffia. The study of the aging of tree is called as a dendrochronology. A collection of dried plant parts for identification purpose, taxonomy purpose is called as herbarium. The largest or the biggest herbarium in the world is preserved in the National Museum in Paris, which contains 8877,300 specimens. And the largest herbarium in India, not only India, also in Southeast Asia, is preserved in the Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose Indian Botanical Garden in Shibpur, Kolkata. It contains about 1.5 million specimens.